Hi, boys and girls. We're going to read another story today with my favorite character, PJ Funny Bunny. If you look at the cover, can you make a prediction of what this story might be about by looking at the pictures? What is PJ wearing? What is he looking at? Here's the title of the story, PJ Funny Bunny and His Very Cool Birthday Party. The words there give us a clue too. Yeah, the birthday party. It's going to be PJ's birthday. And that's one way that we can make a connection to the story. Good readers, they make connections. They think about how the story reminds them of something that they've done. And we've all had birthdays before, so that's one way we all can relate to PJ Funny Bunny. The story is written by Marilyn Sadler and it's illustrated by Roger Bolin. Then we have our title page. The title, PJ Funny Bunny and His Very Cool Birthday Party by Marilyn Sadler, illustrated by Roger Bolin. I'm looking at the picture of PJ. We know that pictures are very important. They can tell us more details about the story. And just by looking at this picture, I'm going to guess or make a prediction that at some point PJ's very happy during his birthday because he has a happy face and he's sort of jumping around. And so that's my prediction by looking at the picture. One morning, PJ Funny Bunny woke up with a wonderful feeling inside. Today was his birthday. Cool, he said. Mrs. Funny Bunny gave PJ a big hug and a kiss. Today is a day that will be filled with many surprises, she said. Can you think of a time when somebody was going to give you a surprise? How do you think PJ's feeling right now? I know that when someone was going to give me a surprise, I was really excited and I couldn't wait. I was impatient. I couldn't wait to find out what it is. Let's see if PJ is patient or if he's impatient like me. Just then there was a knock on the door. PJ went to answer it. "Happy birthday!" shouted PJ's friends when he opened the door. What a surprise to see all of them standing there. PJ was surprised to see so many presents too. Boys and girls, sometimes you have a birthday party and you don't know that you're going to have it. And those are called a surprise party. And that's what PJ has. He didn't know that they were going to come, so he had a surprise party. Have you ever had a surprise party? "Now for the best surprise of all," said PJ Funny Bunny, with a mysterious twinkle in her eye. "Follow me." PJ and his friends followed Mrs. Funny Bunny out to the car and piled in. What was the best surprise of all going to be, they wondered. What do you think the best surprise of all? If it was your birthday, what would you think would be the best surprise of all? "I bet I know where we're going," shouted Richie. "We're going swimming." Richie couldn't wait to try out the new tall slippery slide at the lake. Do you notice how the illustrator has put in a thought bubble or a thinking bubble? It tells you what Richie is thinking, and it gives you a picture, so it helps you get inside his mind. "That's true," said Mrs. Funny Bunny. "You'll be going swimming." "I knew it," said Richie. But when they came to Forest Hill Lake, Mrs. Funny Bunny drove right past it. "I know where we're going," blurted Buzz. "We're going horseback riding." Buzz wished he had brought his new cowboy hat. Now this makes me think of a time when I went horseback riding with my friends. So that's another way that I'm able to make a connection to the story. "Yes, you are going riding," said Mrs. Funny Bunny. But when they drove by Mrs. Dapper's horseback riding camp, Mrs. Funny Bunny didn't so much as turn her head. Look at them looking out the window. Their eyes are big and wide. They're like, wait a minute, we're passing it. I know, Pot's pig joined in. We're going to the ice cream shop. What's a better birthday? What's a birthday party without cake and ice cream? Yes, we're certainly going to have cake and ice cream, said Mrs. Funny Bunny. But when she came to Mrs. Hog's sweet shop, she drove right past its hot pink sign. As they approached the Turtle Creek Boat Club, PJ was more confused than ever. Mom, he said, are you taking us on a boat ride? She said, you'll be doing a bit of boating. But when Mrs. Funny Bunny didn't stop at the Turtle Creek Boat Club either, PJ began to whine. Oh, come on, Mom, he cried. Please tell us where we're going. Well, Mrs. Funny Bunny hinted, at times it will be scary. I know, cried PJ. Attack of the Slimy Carrots is playing at the Old Valley Cinema. Now, a cinema is another word for movie theater. But when Mrs. Funny Bunny cruised on past Attack of the Slimy Carrots at the Old Valley Cinema, PJ and his friends slumped down in their seats. Ugh, they groaned. Then suddenly, everyone spied some bright lights winking at them above the treetops. As they got closer, a big Ferris wheel rose up before them. Next, they saw something streaking quickly by, a super-fast roller coaster. Now, everyone knew just where they were going. They all shouted at once, "We're going to Pine Coney Island!" Do you think they're excited about that? Look at their feelings, because it's important to include feelings in the story, and I can tell that they're happy about that one. However, did you guess, said Mrs. Funny Bunny as she drove through the gates, as she was right, and she was right. This was the best surprise of all. PJ and his friends went swimming, horseback riding, and boating. They ate cake and ice cream, and they were scared out of their wits in Pine Coney Island Haunted House. Finally, as if that weren't enough, they rode the Ferris wheel and the roller coaster. It was the best birthday party PJ or anyone else could remember. PJ gave his mother a big hug and a kiss. Cool, he said, and all of his friends agreed. That was a nice birthday surprise for PJ and his friends. Boys and girls, one thing that readers do is after they're done reading a story, they think about what was happening in the story, and they think about some story details. And one of the details they think about, who are the characters in the story? Who are the people or the animals that are doing the talking and the acting? Can you think of the characters that were in this story? If you said PJ Funny Bunny, great job. Also, Mrs. Funny Bunny, PJ's mom, was in the story. She had an important part in the story. She was the one that planned the surprise and drove them to the surprise. And of course, there was Richie Raccoon, PJ's friend. Can you think of another friend? There is Buzz Beaver. And his last friend to go, can you think of the last friend? Pot's pig. So those are our characters, and this is a fiction story. It's not real, it's just pretend. We know it's fiction because animals, they don't really drive cars, and they don't really wear clothes and act like people. And when we have a fiction story, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. It has to go in order for us to understand it. And you know what? Readers think about that order. And one of the order, the first part is the beginning. I want you to think back to the beginning of this story. How did it start? How did it begin? If you said it began with PJ waking up to his birthday and being surprised that his friends are at the door, then you're right. That is how the story gets started. And then there's a middle of the story. And the middle of the story is like a big part of the story. It's where most of the story takes place or happens. Can you think about what they did most of the time in this story? If you said they spent most of the time in the car trying to guess what the surprise was going to be, then you're right. They went most of the time in the car thinking about where the surprise was. And of course, the story has to end. And now can you think about how did this story end? After PJ woke up and was surprised about his birthday, and they drove all over thinking of where the surprise would be, how did it end? If you said that they ended at Pine Coney Island, then you're right. Well, boys and girls, thanks for listening. And when you read a story, I want you to think about who are the characters, the people or the animals that are talking and acting in the story. And think about after when you're done, how did the story start? What was the beginning? What was the middle? What was the end? Have a great day.